You've been told your vibration is just a feeling, that it's just positive thoughts, a mental state, a temporary emotional buzz. But that's not the truth. Your vibration is not just mood, it's your signature in the field. It's your frequency stamp, the invisible pattern that determines how you move through life and what moves toward you. And here's the secret. It's not random. It doesn't rise by accident. It's not about forcing happiness, visualizing wealth, or repeating affirmations with your fingers crossed. Your vibration is rooted in how you hold energy, not just emotionally, but physiologically, cellularly, and spiritually. And the ancients knew how to work with it. They didn't raise their vibration. They refined it. There was one practice, rare, internal, and nearly forgotten, that wasn't flashy or complicated. It didn't require crystals, mantras, or rituals. It required something far more difficult: stillness. This practice was taught in the mystery schools of Egypt, the internal monasteries of Taoist China, and encoded in the Upanishads. It had different names, but one purpose: to return the body and mind to a harmonic state where energy no longer leaks, and the field becomes radiant. Let's start here. Your energy field is like a radio. It emits a signal, but more importantly, it attracts matching signals. If your frequency is clouded by mental loops, suppressed emotions, or unconscious tension, you attract more of the same. The forgotten practice begins with reversing that loop, not by thinking higher, but by becoming empty. Imagine this. There's a flame inside you, buried under years of noise, trauma, expectation, and stress. That flame is pure, unshakable resonance. It doesn't need to be lit. It needs to be uncovered. This practice strips away the noise layer by layer until only your core vibration remains. And once it emerges, something miraculous happens. Your thoughts become aligned without effort. Your emotions stabilize without suppression. You become magnetic, not because you're trying to, but because your field is clear. We'll begin, as they did, with the first principle: still inner structure. Because stillness is not passivity. It is the most active generator of frequency in the subtle body. In the next part, we'll explore how to reprogram your energetic signature, not with thought, but with posture, breath, and the one frequency your cells always obey. Close your eyes, breathe once, slowly, and ask yourself, what if everything you've ever wanted isn't missing? It's simply vibrating at a frequency you've forgotten how to match. True vibration is not something you add to yourself. It's what remains when everything false has been removed. You can't raise your vibration through stimulation. Caffeine might give you a spike. Dopamine hits from scrolling might feel good for a moment. But these are energetic sugar rushes. They crash just as fast. To raise your vibration permanently, you must build it from the core outward. Let's return to the principle of still inner structure. Begin by standing or sitting upright. Imagine your spine not as bones, but as a vertical energy antenna. The crown of your head reaches upward. The base of your spine roots downward. Your body becomes the axis between heaven and earth. Now bring your attention to your breath. But don't breathe deeply. Don't force anything. Simply notice the breath as it enters and exits through the nose. Then drop your awareness down into your chest, then into your belly, and finally into your pelvis. This forgotten center is where vibration is stored and generated. It's the root of your being, the energetic foundation that supports every higher emotion, insight, and intention. The ancient practice begins here. Sit still, spine aligned, eyes closed, tongue on the roof of the mouth, breath soft, almost invisible. Now focus on the space, 2 fingers below your navel. This is your lower dantian, your energetic battery. With each breath, visualize a gentle glow there. It doesn't spin. It doesn't burst. It just is, stable, warm, present. This visualization isn't imagination. It's direction of awareness, and awareness is the fuel of vibration. Where attention goes, energy flows, and where energy gathers, frequency rises. Stay with this practice. You might feel bored at first. That's good. Boredom is the mind's resistance to stillness. But if you remain present, something shifts. You begin to notice. Your body feels heavier and lighter at the same time. Your thoughts lose their grip. A quiet hum starts in your core, not audible, but unmistakable. This is the field activating, not because you pushed, but because you allowed. In the next part, we'll go further into how this subtle vibration shapes your reality in ways far beyond what thoughts alone could ever do. Until then, sit, breathe, and feel what it's like to finally stop chasing the light and become it. Vibration isn't a concept. It's an influence. It doesn't just affect how you feel. It changes what's drawn into your life. Everything you experience, your relationships, health, finances, is a mirror of your internal frequency. Not because of karma or luck, but because of resonance. Resonance means like attracts like. Your thoughts don't manifest your reality. Your frequency does. And your frequency is created by how consistently you can hold a coherent, calm, and centered energetic state, regardless of what's happening outside you. This is the forgotten practice, to stop reacting, to become the field, not the content. When you vibrate low, everything feels urgent. You overreact. You seek validation. You fight for control. But when your vibration rises, your world slows down. You move with intention. You attract people who respect your energy. Life begins to bend toward your presence because your field becomes strong enough to shape space. Now here's where it gets subtle. High vibration isn't loud. It's not hype. It's not big emotions or ecstatic outbursts. It's depth. It's quiet, rooted certainty. You walk into a room and shift the entire energy without a word. This isn't charisma. It's coherence. Coherence means your mind, heart, and body are aligned. You're not fragmented. You're not pretending. You are one. And that one emits a frequency that others feel instantly, even if they can't explain why. But here's the key. You must practice holding that field, not just when meditating, but during real life. When you're stuck in traffic, when you're speaking to someone difficult, when you're tired or overwhelmed. That's when the real test begins. Can you remain still inside? Can you hold that frequency, even when no one else around you is? Because the moment you can, you unlock the real power of vibration, influence without force. So if you're feeling this, if something deep inside you is saying yes, then you're exactly where you need to be. This channel isn't just here to share ideas. It's here to awaken the practice that lives inside you. Subscribe and tap the bell, not because we said something interesting, but because part of you remembers this work and is ready to return to it. As you continue this inner practice, something subtle but undeniable begins to shift, not just in your emotions, but in the fabric of your reality itself. You start to make different choices, not because you're forcing discipline, but because old patterns no longer feel aligned. Food, people, thoughts, environments, they all start to feel either magnetic or repelling. And here's why. Your nervous system is tuning to a new frequency. Raising your vibration isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming transparent to yourself, so that every lie, every mask, every external expectation falls away. What's left is clarity, and from clarity, power is born. You begin to move through the world with less friction, not because problems disappear, but because your reaction field transforms. You don't argue with chaos. You remain still within it. You no longer chase outcomes. You magnetize them, because your signal is no longer full of static. This is the essence of permanent vibration shift. Sustainability over spikes, depth over hype, stillness over stimulation, and then the body follows. You sleep deeper, digest better, heal faster. Your cells literally begin to operate in a state of coherence. Inflammation drops, cortisol lowers. You're no longer living in fight or flight. You're grounded in flow or form. Even time feels different. You become more present. Hours stretch, moments deepen. You're no longer waiting for something out there to change you. You realize you are the change, and others feel it. They say you seem different, calmer, brighter. They don't know you've been practicing in silence, but they feel the field around you, and it affects them. Now you become a transmitter, not of advice or opinions, but of frequency. You walk through the world not as a reactor, but as a resonator. And in the next part, we'll unlock the final phase of this forgotten practice. The moment when vibration stops being something you manage and becomes something that manages reality itself through you. Until then, sit with this. What if you never needed to chase alignment? What if it's what you naturally are once the noise is gone? By now, your vibration isn't something you're adjusting. It's something you're embodying. It's not a feeling. It's a field. and that field begins to speak for you long before your mouth does. This is the moment when your vibration stops being internal and starts shaping the external, not through force, not through willpower, but through resonance. Intentions become magnetic, not because you try to manifest, but because your frequency is finally clear enough for the universe to respond to. You're no longer sending mixed signals. You've become a single tone, a coherent frequency, a living transmitter of intent. And now reality becomes fluid. You walk into a room and tension breaks. You speak softly and people hear truth. You visualize, not from desperation, but from alignment, and things begin to move. This is where ancient mystics began their real work, not in temples, not in robes, but in how they held the field for themselves and for others. High vibration isn't about being positive. It's about being pure, pure of distortion, pure of manipulation, pure of egoic pull. And this purity isn't passive, it's potent. Your mere presence becomes a catalyst. People shift around you, not because of what you say, but because of what you are. And here's the mystery. You don't need to understand how it works. Vibration precedes logic. Energy moves first. Matter follows. This is why the most powerful creators don't work hard. They hold, they sit, they remember who they are, and the field adjusts accordingly. This is not laziness, it's alignment, and it requires courage, because it asks you to release control and trust your inner frequency more than external outcomes. In the final part, we'll take this all the way back to the root. What is vibration really? Who is vibrating? And how do you protect this state from the noise of the world? Until then, stand still. Let your silence speak. Let your field answer questions your words never could. You've returned to where it all began, not the beginning of your story, but the beginning of vibration itself. Long before language, long before thought, there was tone, there was movement, there was frequency. Every cell in your body still remembers that tone. Every breath is an echo of it. And through this forgotten practice, you've started to listen again. The reason you felt lost was never because you lacked something. It was because the signal of who you are was drowned in noise. Now, the noise is gone, and what remains is not just higher vibration, it's original vibration. The pattern of you, unfiltered, before beliefs, before conditioning, before the world told you what was possible. This state isn't delicate. It's not fragile. It's the most stable version of you that exists. And now the final question is not how to raise your vibration. It's how to protect it. Because the world is loud, and not everyone is tuned. You will be misunderstood. You may be mocked. People might say you've changed, and they'll be right, because you've remembered what they've forgotten. But here's the thing. Your energy is no longer reactive. You don't explain. You don't argue. You transmit. You hold the field. This is where vibration becomes your compass, your protection, your clarity in chaos. You don't need rules anymore. You just need to ask, does this raise or lower my frequency? If it lowers, step back. If it raises, go in deeper. And if it does neither, then sit in silence until you feel your signal again. Because once you learn to live from your vibration, you never go back. It's not something you manage. It's something you are. And no one can take it from you, unless you forget it yourself. So let me ask you this. If your entire life is a reflection of your vibration, then what does your current reality say about the signal you're broadcasting?